हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम बैक टू चैनल सिविल इंजीनियरिंग एकेडमी। आज के इस वीडियो में हम कवर करने वाले हैं टॉपिक टेक्निकल टर्म्स एंड डेफिनेशन। वीडियो शुरू करने से पहले चैनल को सब्सक्राइब जरूर करें और वीडियो को लाइक और शेयर करना ना भूलें ताकि ऐसे ही एजुकेशनल कंटेंट आप तक पहुंचते रहे। सो लेट्स स्टार्ट फॉर वीडियो। सो द फर्स्ट टर्म इज अल्टरेशन, a change in an existing building or the structural change such as an addition to the height or the removal of the part of building or any change to the structure such as the construction of stairs, toilets or change to the fixtures of equipment is known as an alteration. Now the next term is balcony. A horizontal cantilever projection including a handrail or a balustrade to serve as a passage or sitting out place is known as a balcony. Now the next is barsati, a habitable room or rooms on the roof of the building with or without toilet and kitchen is known as a barsati. Now the next term is the building height, most important parameter in construction of the building. So we'll discuss this in the three different points. And the first one, in the case of the flat roof, the vertical distance measured from the center line of the street to the highest point of the building adjacent to the street wall. In case of pitched roofs, the vertical distance measured from the average level of the center line of the adjoining street to the ridge is known as building height. And in case of the gable end of sloping roof facing the road, the vertical distance measured from the average level of the center line of the adjoining street to the midpoint between the eaves level of the ridge is known as building height. Now the next is cabin. A room constructed with non-load bearing or the partition walls with adequate provision of light and ventilation. Canopy is nothing but the cantilever projection from the building usually provided over opening on the external walls for the protection from the sun and rain. Now the next is courtyard. A space permanently open to the sky, enclosed fully or the partially by building and may be at the ground level or any other level within or adjacent to the building is known as a courtyard. Now the next is drainage. The removal of surface or subsurface water from any building or open area by a system constructed for this purpose is known as a drainage. Now the next is exit. A passage, channel or other open space for the egress from any building, story to a street or other open space of safety. External wall. A wall abutting and the interior open space of any building or abutting on the road or any open space, and also mean a wall abutting on the wall of another building and being a party wall. Fireproof door. A door or shutter fitted to a wall opening and the constructed and erected with equipment to check the transmission of heat or fire for a specified period. Floor. The lower story of a building below or partly below the ground level is known as a floor. Floor area ratio, or also known as a FAR, the quotient obtained by dividing the total covered area, that is plinth area, on all the floors multiplied by 100 by the area of the plot. It is given in the formula like that: FAR is equals to total covered area of all the floors multiplied by 100 and the term divided by the plot area. Now the next is front. As applied to the building means the portion facing the street from which it has access. Now the next is footing. A foundation unit constructed in a brickwork, masonry or the concrete under the base of wall or column for the purpose of distributing the load over the large area. And the foundation means the part of the structure which is in the direct contact with the transmitting loads to the ground. Gallery, an intermediate floor or the platform projecting from a wall of an auditorium or hall, providing extra floor area, additional sitting accommodation, etc. Garage is nothing but a building or portion thereof used for shelter, storage or parking of wheeled vehicles. Now the next is ground floor. Ground floor means the story of the building which has its floor surface nearest to the ground around the building. Habitable room. A room occupied or the designed for the occupancy by one or more persons for study, living, sleeping, eating, kitchen, but not including bathroom, water closet, store, pantry, corridors, etc. Loft. An intermediate floor space created by introduction of a slab between the floor and ceiling of a room, passage or wherever it is provided with the maximum clear height of 1.5 meter for the storage purposes only. Now the next is Momti or the stair cover, a structure with a covering roof over a staircase and is a landing built to enclosed and not use the stairs for the purpose of providing protection from the weather and not to use them as a habitable room. Now the next is mezzanine floor, an intermediate floor between the two floor level above the ground floor, and at least one side of it should form an integral part of the room below. Now the next is open space, an area forming an integral part of the plot left open to the sky. Parapet, a low wall on railing built along the edge of the roof or floor. Now the next is partition, an interior non-load bearing wall 1 story or a part story in height is known as a partition. Plinth, the portion of a structure between the surface of the surrounding ground and the surface of the floor immediately above the ground is known as a plinth. And now plinth area, the built up covered area measured at the floor level of the basement or any story is nothing but the plinth area. And now the next is porch, a covered surface supported on the pillars or otherwise for the purpose of pedestrian or the vehicular approach to the building. Room height, the vertical distance measured from the finished floor surface to finished ceiling surface is known as a room height. The next is service road, a road or lane provided at the rear or the side of a plot for the service purposes. Next is site or plot, a piece of land enclosed by a definite boundary is known as a plot. The next is story. A story is a level or the floor of a building between two horizontal surfaces like floor or ceilings. Street. A street is nothing but a public road in a city or the town, usually with the building on both sides, used by the vehicles or the pedestrians. Thank you so much for watching video. If you like the content of video, please like it and subscribe the channel.